Jen here, and I have a Stretch the Sketch video for you guys. So there you just saw the sketch that we're using this month. It's just this really fun sketch with a couple photos in it, and it has lots of nice layers and things like that, and it has those cute little fish to represent the embellishment. So I thought it would be a really fun sketch to maybe do some of the aquarium pictures that I have. So it doesn't have any mixed media in it, but I wanted to just add that little touch of me, I guess you could say. So I'm going to do a little bit of mixed media first, and I have this stencil that I got from Dollar Tree, and it has sharks and turtles and fish and all that kind of stuff, little stars and things, and so I thought it would be kind of fun to just do a little stenciling. So I'm just taking Delusions paint, and it's this kind of pretty blue, so I'm going to go obviously with blue for my main color, and I'm just stenciling it on, so dabbing it on. I also bought that paintbrush at Dollar Tree, and I think they're kind of meant for little kids, like beginner painters, to just have like a really nice big handle that they can hold and big firm bristles, but it works great for doing this kind of stippling stenciling technique. So I have a few of them that I just kind of keep on hand for that. And I'm just using the lid of the paint. So very, very little paint and just dabbing on. There's two sharks. There's like a bigger shark and then a smaller shark. So I'm kind of scattering those around the top of the page. I know it looks like they're at the bottom, but I will flip this around, and they will be at the top of the page. And I'll save you from watching me do this all over again because it's pretty self-explanatory, but it gives a fun, different kind of texture, and yeah, it's just that little touch of my own personality that I like to put into each layout that I do when I use a sketch. And you can kind of see behind my layout, I generally doodled how I thought maybe I would be able to stretch this one. So I'm going to kind of put it right in the middle of the two pages. So instead of trying to maybe mirror the sketch on each page or anything like that, I'm just going to kind of plop it right in the middle and then split it in half. So I also am going to add a little bit of mixed media here too, just because I felt like by stretching it out, it was leaving a lot of white space. And so this kind of just gives a little bit of interest to the background. And I know that most of it is going to get covered up, so you'll just kind of see little bits of this mixed media and different shades of blue kind of poking out from behind all the layers that I'm going to put down. So I'm going with my classic smushing technique, and I'm just using that same paintbrush. I don't normally use it for this kind of thing, but it was already there and it already had some blue paint in it, so I'm just using that to get different shades of the blue and smush it around. And I'm really mostly just concerned with how it's going to look kind of around the outside edges, because that's where you'll see it. You'll have to excuse my cat in the background meowing. She wants to go outside so badly, but it's super hot right now, and we don't normally let her outside, but yeah, she's meowing to go out, so I apologize. She misses her girl. Kaylin went away for the weekend to the mountains, and she's missing her. So here I'm just doing the same on the other side of the layout, just exact same technique, kind of smushing and filling in that space and just seeing what cool textures you can get with the paint. And because the Delusions paint was just dabbed on, it's in such a thin layer that it actually dried really, really quickly. So that's definitely a good technique to use if you don't have a lot of time to wait for a thick acrylic paint to dry. And once it's dry, you can see I'm smushing right over top of the blue star that's kind of down a little bit lower. And you can really do a lot of fun things with the acrylic paint kind of resisting the watercolor. So I thought that was kind of neat, kind of fun. You could have maybe, a few different shapes if you were doing like an underwater scene where some of the shapes are in acrylic and some are in watercolor, and they kind of layer on top of each other. you can probably build up some pretty cool textures that way, like you see a lot of art journalers and stuff do. So once everything was dry, I went into my How to Kill a Kit with Style kit from July, and it's all summer themed. And I just pulled out any scraps that I have that were blue, or I have just that pop of yellow to use as a little bit of a contrasting color. My pictures are completely saturated in blue, so I wanted to have a couple of complementary colors that just can, bring a little bit of brightness to them, I guess you could say. So I'm going to do the yellow, and then a little bit later on, I'll bring in a little touch of pink, because Fox is wearing kind of a burgundy reddish hoodie, and so I thought the pink would work really good, but it'll just be a teeny tiny touch of it just to brighten everything up. So the paper with the little curly cues on it, that's actually crepe paper. I think, it's Maggie Holmes' collection called, is it Carnival? No, Carousel. I don't know why I always mix that up. It's Carousel. And then the cloud paper that I just put down, that is from Close to My Heart. And then there's that yellow paper. It has little seashells and starfish on it, and that comes from Summer Lights from Pink Paisley. And then this blue cardstock is just a bulk cardstock that you buy from Michael's, and it has little dots on it, and those are glittery. So I thought that kind of brought in more of a true blue color that matches some of the mixed media and the sharks that I did. And then the glitter kind of brings in just an extra fun texture. And I find, like, at aquariums, anywhere, the water glistens and is glittery. So I kind of like that it plays off of that concept. And here you can see how super blue they are, because obviously at an aquarium, all the lighting is ideal to make the aquariums look beautiful and picturesque. And this is the aquarium at the Toledo Zoo. So the kids absolutely adored it. They had so much fun there, and it is quite stunning when you walk in. And so that's where I'm going to take my title from, is the look on Fox's face when he walked in. He was just in awe at that one big, beautiful aquarium that you walk right into, and you see the sharks and you see the rays and all that swimming around. So that's going to end up being my title. So here on the other side, because I never want anything to be exactly symmetrical. I don't know why, that's just the way I always am. I like to have things just maybe slightly off-center, slightly, pushed to one side or the other. I think it just causes your eye to want to move around the page a little bit, and it's something a little different, and it gives a little interest to the layout. So the one side I used that full 6x6 piece of paper. On the other side I didn't have the full 6x6, which was totally okay with me. So I kind of have everything squished a little bit on that side, and that gives me a place to put the round element, because in the original sketch there is a round element where they have lines for journaling, and so that kind of gave me a place to go ahead and put that. And because my pictures, I couldn't cut that, I guess I was gonna say I couldn't cut that picture right in half, because I would have cut right through the shark. I guess I could have, but I didn't want to cut right through the shark. I wanted it to be on one side or the other, and just cut some of the empty negative space around it. So it kind of made sense that everything is just slightly squished to the left, I guess. Does that make sense? Am I making sense? I think I am. So here's my round element that I'm going to use. That's a card from Wild Whisper from the Out and About collection. And it has just a little bit of yellow, and it has the lines, and it had a little kind of teal in it. So I thought that worked good. And here I had another piece of paper that I wanted to bring in. I felt like some of the layers just looked a little bit awkward. There was a big stretch between where the yellow ended and where that crepe paper was. So I'm adding in this extra little layer, and that comes from Photo Play, I think. And it's just, it almost looks like the bottom of a swimming pool, like it was taken from a bird's eye view. And so again, it has that water. It brings in a little bit more of that kind of aqua color. So there's a bit of a transition from the carousel paper, which is kind of teal, all the way up to that blue cardstock paper, which is more of a true blue. I also put that little piece that I cut apart that says Rome. That's from Pink Fresh Studio from their Out and About collection. And it was blue, which is mostly why I put that in there. But also, I try to get some piece that refers to the fact that we were taking a road trip on all of these layouts. Now, in the sketch, there isn't a lot of actual embellishment. There's the little fish kind of, to me, represent the embellishment, and there isn't a lot there, so I wanted to keep my embellishments fairly simple and just let the layers be the kind of main feature, and then of course the pictures. So I used a couple of the seashells from the Summer Lights chipboard sheets, and they have that kind of silvery holographic feel to them. So depending on how you move them, they catch the light and are a little bit silver or a little bit blue or sometimes a little bit pink. And so that's what actually made me think that I should bring in that third color, that pink. So on that sticker sheet that I just used, that was from Michael's, there was some little yellow stickers and then the pink stickers and of course the teal stickers, but I didn't use those, but I pulled off the pink ones and the yellow ones and kind of added those in to make a little cluster where I put the seashells. I also used a tag. I just cut it in half and turned it into 2 tags, and that is going to be where I put my title. I don't have the punch to do the notebook jagged edge. I wish I did because it's obviously a really fun punch to use. But I just turned it into tags because I thought that worked just as well. And then I have that super adorable little punch from Creative Memories. It has 4 different little things on it, and one of them is a fish. So I went into the Summer Light 6x6 paper pad and I just punched out a bunch of little pink fish. And so now there's just that little bit more pink in each of the clusters. So I finished the layout off with the title, which says Aquarium Awe, and later on I will actually add some twine in there, so it'll be pink twine you'll see in the close-ups. And that's it. That's my layout for this month. If you have any questions, you can leave them for me down below, and be sure to check out all the links down below for everybody else who has stretched the sketch this month. There's always tons of inspiration. Thank you so much for watching. I really appreciate it. Until next time, happy scrapping! Bye!